The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is in people's minds so much. They are so salty that the game is doing well with the announcement that the game has sold over 10 million units in the first 3 days. People are calling back to Horizon Forbidden West, a game that came out last year, and even PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 fans didn't buy as much as probably Sony would have liked, although it did sell over 8 million copies. But now what you have is you have a trickle effect of people on the internet. They're getting salty because a game like Tears of the Kingdom can come out and in 3 days outsell the totality of your game that you say is better. So there are a number of people randomly out of nowhere who've never played the game Tears of the Kingdom, or who are just simply trolling. I don't know what the case is, talk about how Horizon Forbidden West is better than The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And look, you're allowed to like what you like, you're allowed to love what you love. If you think Aloy's adventures in that area and that location and everything that she goes through is better than Tears of the Kingdom and what you can do, more power to you. Have fun, have at it. But I think that it's very interesting when people try to put it out there on the internet that, hey, this game is better, and then they have water pistols to back it up, as in not much power. We're talking about the ones that you got at Kmart back in the day for 99 cents in a little bin. Yeah, we're not even talking about the Super Soaker 3000, the big powerful ones. We're talking about the water pistols here. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I actually wanted to entertain this for a little bit of content for you guys on top of everything else that we're going to talk about here. We've got some great stuff. So I wanted to entertain it, and I wanted to let you guys know what the arguments are or the comebacks are with this, because we've seen this before. This has happened before. It's kind of giving me deja vu, like back when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out compared to Horizon Zero Dawn. People tried to make those comparisons, and obviously Zelda Breath of the Wild smacked Horizon Zero Dawn all over the place when it comes to reviews, and also when it comes to the awards and pretty much everything, sales. It just pretty much beat it out in everything. Not to say that Horizon is a bad game, but yes, it did beat it out. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk about this giveaway that we're going to have on the channel, a brand new one where I'm giving away one Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. All you got to do to enter is subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, check out the link in the description, and go vote on the community page on your favorite Tears of the Kingdom power. Even if you haven't played the game before, you've seen some of the different powers in the game, vote on your favorite one, drop a comment there, and I will pick a random winner on June 1st, 2023. Let's jump back into this because I actually wanted to hear out people that say Horizon Forbidden West is better. I'm looking at it from someone who loves video games, and I love open world, open-ended action RPGs or open-ended action games. These are some of my favorite type of titles out there, but I'll be completely honest, it's been getting stale. It's been getting incredibly stale. So that's why Breath of the Wild was a breath of fresh air, because it changed things up quite a bit from the typical Assassin's Creed or The Witcher formula, and they made something completely different. And then in this game, Tears of the Kingdom, they built upon it. However, there is a sect of core PlayStation fans who just feel Horizon is better. So someone on Twitter actually talked about that. He said Horizon Forbidden West is a better game than Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but y'all don't want to have that conversation. So I was like, well, I actually do want to have that conversation. Let's hear it. So the reasoning for Horizon Forbidden West being better than Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was this from that same person. Horizon Forbidden West is better in every way imaginable. Zelda's gameplay is nothing special unless you like your weapons breaking after 3 attacks. Laughing face with the crying emojis. Also, haven't seen a soul mention the narrative when speaking on this game. So there's so many layers to how bad this response is, and he's got a couple quote tweets. He's got about 4 likes on there. So I mean, obviously this person doesn't have a ton of followers or anything, but this is a very bad response because it doesn't actually tell me why Horizon Forbidden West is better in every way imaginable. I'm guessing that this person maybe is a little bit scatterbrained, or because he didn't really play Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, or he just forgot. He's so piled up in salt, right? The salt wars and the fanboy wars and the console wars that he forgot to actually state why it's better. You know, he mentioned things that he thought was weak in Tears of the Kingdom, but he never actually mentioned why it's better. Now, here's the thing, guys, with this. Obviously, if you've played Tears of the Kingdom, you know, I don't got to go over this with you guys again, but you know that there's extra durable weapons, there's weapon fusion, there's all sorts of ways to make stuff last way longer, and as you go on in the game, it will last longer, and you'll find other ways to kill enemies because there is variety in the game. Also, when it comes to the narrative, if you read the reviews, the narrative is actually heavily praised over Breath of the Wild. Now, if this was Breath of the Wild, I can kind of see that a little bit. People not talk about the narrative too much because a lot of the narrative comes from the memories, and the memories are optional. Sometimes you find them, some people didn't. Now, in Tears of the Kingdom, there are actually a main story where you find the glyphs and you can get those memories on top of there just being cutscenes and voice acting normally if you just play through the separate main quests in the game. So the narrative was actually heavily praised and really improved upon what Breath of the Wild did. So you know this person hasn't played the game. They haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. They don't really know what they're talking about. And clearly they don't know what they're talking about. But it's funny to go over the salt wars on Twitter and the salt wars with these people that are so upset that this game, once again, that I talked about in a live stream, that they feel is inferior technology-wise to what they're playing because they are told the best graphics, the best talking, right? If a game talks a lot, Aloy just never shuts up, that is considered the best. But the thing about it is that everybody in the comments section is pretty much just clowning this take. Horizon Forbidden West is a good game. There's even hardcore Sony guys. One of my favorite content creators, Dreamcast guy, you know, he loves Sony, he loves Horizon, and he's like, I don't know about this one. That's where I even first saw this tweet, was from there. So I looked at it like, yeah, you didn't really do a great job of actually explaining. With The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you have very innovative gameplay that has physics, that has momentum, that has stuff to where you can chop down a tree, cut grass, you can make different types of things when it comes to creations, you can soar through the sky, you can battle in unique different types of ways. Weapon fusion gives you hundreds, if not thousands of combinations with weapons. You have the skies, you have the plains of Hyrule, you have the depths, you have mountains, you have underground, you just have so many facets to this game that really just surpass Horizon in every single way. And I'll be honest, I think that the Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West developers, Guerrilla, are looking at Tears of the Kingdom and saying, maybe we can start to implement some of this stuff, because it does create a more immersive experience, in my opinion, to have to where you can cut down grass, you can collect different resources, you can cook, you can climb anywhere that you want for the most part, you can chop down the trees, there's realistic physics and swaying to the grass when you walk through it, or if you burn it, you can use it to fly up and shoot something. There are so many different aspects to this game than following the same, I have a skill tree, it goes down, and I get experience points and I level that up. That's cool and that works well, but to try to compare it to a revolutionary game like Tears of the Kingdom, the greatest rated game of all time on OpenCritic, one of the highest rated games of all time, just makes it fall really flat and makes you look silly. So it is what it is there. But let's go ahead and move on to some other big titles being announced for the Nintendo Switch, because the Nintendo Switch is not dead yet, and it's still getting major third-party AAA games. Mortal Kombat 1 was just announced for the PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Nintendo Switch. We've got a brand new trailer. We've also got information when it comes to this game, and it's looking like it's going to be a complete reboot of the series. Complete reboot of the series, but with a lot of cool twists and turns in between. So this game will officially launch on September 19th, and it looks like it's going to be a graphical beast in the fighting game genre. Now, it's going to be a $70 game for the standard version, $109, pretty much $110 for the premium version, and a $250 collector's edition, yes, with the K in there, the collectors. So it'll only be available with the collector's edition on Xbox Series and PS5. So PC and all that, Switch, you're not going to be able to get that. But here is what this game is about, because I find it incredibly interesting. I've been playing Mortal Kombat since the original, and I haven't played it as much since the 360 reboot then, which I love that game a lot. I think it was Mortal Kombat 9. So I haven't really played it hardcore since then. But back in the day, I played Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3. I played Mortal Kombat a little bit on the PS2, GameCube, and stuff like that. And then I really got back into it with Mortal Kombat 9 on the Xbox 360 and kind of fell off from there. But I still enjoy watching the tournaments. I still enjoy watching people play it on YouTube or on Twitch. It's just awesome to see. A little bit squeamish at first with the last one, but then I got used to it. But yeah, let's talk about this. So it says, discover a reborn Mortal Kombat universe created by the fire god Liu Kang. Mortal Kombat 1 ushers in a new era of iconic franchise with a new fighting system, game modes, and fatalities. You have an immersive story campaign. Fight through a brand new story featuring your favorite Mortal Kombat characters like you've never seen them before. There's also going to be new cameo fighters. You can choose from a unique roster of cameo fighting partners to assist you in battle. So is that almost like a Marvel versus Capcom like assist type of system that they have in there? So we'll see about that. There's also a pre-order bonus for Shang Tsung. Also, what type of game is Mortal Kombat 1? So Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the acclaimed Mortal Kombat video game fighting franchise from NetherRealm. They're the ones who's going to be developing it, and it's going to have a reborn universe. Fire God Liu Kang. So if you don't know the story, go look up a retrospective on there and what happened, because everything was kind of destroyed. Liu Kang became Fire God. He recreated all this, and now we're going to have recreations of all the characters in Mortal Kombat 1 or the original and then some. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Now, I'm very interested in the new game modes and the new fighting system. I want to see if they've actually smoothed out those animations. So who's developing Mortal Kombat 1? This is very important here. So NetherRealm Studios, they're building it on their own technology that they have. They pretty much modified the Unreal Engine 3 to the point to where it's completely something different at this point. So they're developing the Xbox Series and the PS5 version of the game. Now, Q-Lock is developing the Steam and Epic Game Store versions of the game, and Shiver Entertainment and Saber Interactive are developing the Nintendo Switch version of the game. This is the way that you get Nintendo Switch versions done. You get people who know what they're doing. You get the collaboration. Saber is very good. I think they also worked on The Witcher 3, and Shiver, they've done that before with Mortal Kombat on the Nintendo Switch. So they are no stranger to Nintendo Switch development, and it's probably going to be a little rough around the edges on the Nintendo Switch, just like the last Mortal Kombat game was, but it's going to be playable and it's going to work well enough. Now, we do have confirmation that there will be rollback netcode, and cross-play support will be coming after launch. So post-launch, there will be cross-game support, so you will be able to play against your friends if you're on Xbox, playing against PlayStation, PC, whatever the case is. Now, there will also be a beta as well. If you pre-order the game, you will be able to get access to the beta, and you also will not require an internet connection in order to play the game's offline modes and the game's normal modes. However, you will need an internet connection or the PSN or the Xbox Live Nintendo Switch Online to play online, so you do need that as well. So cross progression will be added post launch. So if you want to play on the Xbox, then all of a sudden switch over to PlayStation or PC, it will all track probably like on your NetherRealm or Mortal Kombat ID. So very good, and I think that more developers need to do this. I know it's not easy, but I really hope more developers do this, and I think that cross progression, cross save needs to be the wave of the future, to where you can pick up something on one system and easily get it on something else. That right there, once they drop that, is going to sell more copies of the game. I'm telling you that right now. That is the hidden boss, the hidden sales boost that developers absolutely need to do more. So I'm loving everything that I'm seeing so far. We haven't seen any direct, real gameplay at this point, but once we get that, I think that Mortal Kombat is going to be a fantastic experience, and I cannot wait for all the tournaments, all the gameplay, all the streaming, all that stuff. It's going to be very fun, and I'll probably pick it up just like I picked up the last Mortal Kombat on Switch as well. So let's go ahead and jump in to the final topic here, and I have a big revelation for you guys when it comes to the Nintendo Switch and what's happening. The digital revolution is taking over. Still not completely taken over like Xbox and PlayStation, but it is a big deal here because we got the sales numbers for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, right? We got those, and it sold 10 million units in 3 days. And the Famitsu has published their own physical sales numbers for May 8th, 2023 through May 14th, 2023. The Nintendo Switch was the top selling system, over 83,000 units sold. We know for the past 3 weeks, it's been on a slight little tear here, selling about 300,000 units total combined. I think 300,000 units plus in the past 3 weeks. So Switch is doing really good. Obviously, the Zelda OLED hype, building all that. Nintendo Switch software has been doing really good. Out of the top 10, 9 of them were Nintendo Switch software. It's the same evergreen sellers plus The Legend of Zelda. But Tears of the Kingdom sold 1.1 million units plus in its first 3 days in Japan, and Nintendo announced that in Japan, Tears of the Kingdom sold 2.2 million units plus. So over 1 million units of Tears of the Kingdom were sold digitally on the eShop in Japan. That is a massive ratio. And I think the reason why the ratio is so high, the voucher deal, I think that they did, but even if they did or they didn't, people are now buying more games digitally on the eShop or using those codes, using Amazon, whatever the case is, to get those eShop points and buy digitally. Now, I still feel that Nintendo's gonna go forward with digital and also with physical. There's going to be both. It's not going to be all physical or all digital. They're going to do both, and they're going to continue that with the next gen Switch. I truly feel, especially with them still selling physical copies like this, that they want to have that smooth transition, but it is becoming more tilted towards the digital ratio, whereas early in the Switch's life, most of it was physical. It'd probably be like 90-10% when it comes to physical versus digital. But now at this point, it's getting closer, or I think already is 50-50 or 60-40 in that range. So Nintendo still has a huge incentive to supply that. And I think that selling this game, Tears of the Kingdom, and having this many physical copies and having to move over to your next system, that's why I think backwards compatibility, which has been a point of contention. Some people think it's not going to happen. That's why I think there's no chance that it doesn't happen based off of what Nintendo said recently in their investor meeting, talking about having a smooth transition and also just selling this late into the life, still being able to put up 1.1 million physical units in Japan for a major IP. That is incredible. Obviously, Pokemon and Mario and a lot of other games can put up that, but it's very hard. I've been looking at sales numbers for quite some time, and it's very hard for a game to put up 1 million plus in the first 3 days in Japan, considering the population of the country and the install base and everything. It's just hard to do, and Zelda was able to get it done with over 2.2 million units total if you include digital. So a lot of good stuff there, guys. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Make sure you check out the link in the description, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, notification bell, get entered in to win our Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition, the game collector's edition. It's really nice. I have one that I'm going to be giving away. All the details link in the description, so just subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, check out the videos that we've done on the channel. If you haven't seen my semi-review of Tears of the Kingdom, I did that recently, so check it out. It'll be right here on screen for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.